you can use it, but it doesn't mean you're good. So
you come into my house and then dog me about the Kings.
Coming up from Texas, and we don't have a lot of super strong. I'm fanboying it out because all you guys are world famous arm wrestlers. So here's a question that we've been shooting the shit about at the gym all the time. This thing I constantly hear about it, this Kingsmove shit. Now, I've heard B-lister guys talk about it like it's the end all, it's the move to know. But when I say B-listers, like what most people would consider probably the non-elites. And to put it in context, I think it's like when people talk about deadlifting, like say for example I have these 250-pound dumbbells, I can barely grip it, but then you'll see people say, oh well, you hook grip it. But amongst deadlifters, hook grip is kind of like cheating. It's like you don't have to have a lot of strength, you just got to have dexterity to be able to wrap your fingers. So a lot of people kind of talk about this Kingsmove shit like it's kind of like a hook grip, like you can use it, but it doesn't mean you're good. so
Get the fuck out of my house. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know who you've been listening to, but the Kingsmove is the greatest move ever. Just ask Devin Larrett. He's gonna have to use it.
I remember watching who was it? This bencher term arm wrestler Mendelson. I'm the best at the Kingsmove, and I'm like, this guy's not.
He honestly has a decent Kingsmove. Yeah. We ended up having about a 20-second match at the Arnold because he Kingsmove.
I remember that.
Yeah,
you were not the same.
I wasn't. It
wasn't a good day.
All you have to do to beat his Kingsmove would be clamp your hand hard and then just stay steady on go and then back drag and pinning. Yeah. But so I floated my hand, loose grip, was going to try to flash him. What? And he hit me to Kings and stopped me. And I was like, oh shit, he just stopped me to Kingsmove. But because I had no hand, because I was floating, I fell right into the trap, but if I'd have just back pressed him straight back, his arm would have opened right up.
So there's some truth to it. It's not smoke and mirrors.
No, I mean, and the thing is, it's just an open top rope. Now, where there becomes issues, or are you laying down here and your arm's completely straight? I don't know, man. I can do anything.
If you're pretty good, you don't need
how much this has evolved. I know.
I can do anything, and apparently it's a Kingsmove. He can't. I can shoulder press you on go. I'm like, you see Michael King's move? Right. I'm like, are you saying because I'm the king and I did this awesome move? I don't know what you're saying.
Did you see your picture I posted on Insta with you pinning? He's pinning. And someone's like, oh, I can't stand that damn King's move. I was like, what the hell
the one where
she's
got me pinning with the band and the thing? I mean, perfect top row, tabletop finish. Right. Awesome.
Nah, because I was doing my research, and just the other day, I want to say Nick Strength About. There's a YouTube channel that specifically had Larry showcase and said he's specifically going to beat you, and he's not going to use the King's move.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's two lies. That are, first one is that he's going to beat me. Huge lie. Second one is Devin would do whatever it took to win. Right. So there is, I don't plan on King's moving Devin.
I'll be honest with you, I am not a fan of the King's move, right? Personally. I respect it as a move. It is a move inside of arm wrestling. When executed inside the rules, it is very, very frustrating to compete against, which that really is the basis for most of the hate, right?
So is it kind of like the arch, the guys that have the crazy arch, they still consider it a bench press?
Why are y'all
as long as the ass is on the bench, right? We're good.
But then when you tell someone to go straight up and bench 315, they can't do it. But when they get this crazy arch, it looks like Gumby.
Let me just go ahead and say, it's like, hey, but can you beat him in a hook? I don't care because I got the trophy, that says first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The reality of it is too, like you're talking about, whatever you do here, everybody calls it the King's move because the King's move has been synonymous with you. You've made it famous. It's made you famous, maybe infamous, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So people see you, they see the move. They don't see Mike. But the reality of it is if you really look by the letter of the law and the rules, you very rarely foul. And that's just the truth, like whether you want to hate or not, especially when you get on a WAL pad. The problem is a lot of people who are breaking down the King's move and hating on it don't actually know the rules and don't actually know how to enforce them. I think really the stemming of it is the fact that a lot of people have a really, really hard time beating it, and it is a very, very tricky move. So
the thing is,
it is a move
my competitors don't complain about it. Devin Laird doesn't complain about it, Dave Chafee doesn't complain about it, Jerry Cutter, They're
Jerry
not
can't complain about it. We've got him
Yeah,
forever
I do
in a
have
picture
him
of it.
forever in a Kingsmove on my wall. But
Here's an interesting thing too, Mike. What was the most viewed match in WAL history on
Devin
social
versus
media?
Dave,
Right, and what was it?
94 million, two double
It was
Kingsmove.
a double Kingsmove.
Yeah.
Now, was it because people didn't want to watch it that they tuned in? I don't know. They
Yeah.
tuned in. It
Yeah.
met the algorithm. It got shared, and it was the most popular match.
Yeah.
So if you can say so many fans hate it, well, it's been disproven by the social media numbers. So
Yeah, the
there's
thing is,
arguments
I
in
mean,
the angle.
and the problem for me is I care. I genuinely care because I know I'm strong and I know how I train. And so I have evolved. I arm wrestle much tighter than I did previously. I've worked on a lot of things. And Devin's like, Michael, quit doing that. Just win.
Yeah.
You know, who cares? And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna have to Kingsmove Levon. He goes, do whatever you have to do to beat Levon. You know, it's like he's a huge advocate of if it's within the rules, it is part of your arsenal and use it. Don't bow to criticism and say, oh, I'm not gonna do this move because it's frowned upon. I just want to win. That's what it comes down to. I mean,
Was it not frowned upon when people started top rolling?
Yep.
Was it not frowned
I hear
upon when
those
they started
stories.
using
I mean,
strap?
they've been hating on Michael forever. Before the Kingsmove, it was like all he has is a shoulder
I
press.
thought there was like
It's just hate
he's way too
for the
pretty.
king
I don't
of
like
arm
him.
wrestling.
I thought that's
and
what it
that's
was.
all there is to it. That's why they call it the Kingsmove.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think it all, Crazy George, whoever, because King George, there used to be King George shorts. Now, Crazy George George Isakowitz was amazing. Like, he was in his 60s and won the Arnold Classic 10 years in a row.
Right.
Against the best Europeans and best arm wrestlers under 176 pounds in the world.
Yeah.
He did not lose for 10 years, and he is a very proficient Kings mover. His may be bone. His may not. I don't know. I don't know other people's arms and what they do. People are like, well, his arm doesn't straighten. Well, mine doesn't either, but I'm still not locking my arm in the bone to stop you, You'll see my lower bicep feel so full of blood after a war because that's where the pressure's at, right? But I don't know. I appreciate you coming to my house and then dogging me about the Kingsman. Thank you so much for that. I mean, unsubscribe immediately to this guy. Do not follow.
I'll tell you,
Hit the down button.
in the 2 or 3 years that we've been training, it's been really interesting to see the evolution, like I was saying, like the change. And for you to just turn in a hook with Todd and not drop and just stand, I mean, it's just weird because 3 years ago, I don't think you would have done that. But your evolution has done some really weird things.
Well, I have a 420-pound training
That's
partner.
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying though. I'm just saying it's weird to see how you like the Arnold. That first Arnold I went to y'all with. We did not train together.
Yeah.
And you went into a full Kings, even against some people that weren't spectacular.
On day one.
Yeah. And then now you can take a Todd Hutchins, and even not even be working pronation, just turn in a full hook, which is practice. But I'm just saying. Still yet, and not drop at all. Just still.
Yeah, I mean.
It's interesting. It is.
Thanks, Corey. You're awesome.
That is probably a lot actually due to training.
No. Okay, let me tell you who Kings moves the most in our practice. Corey.
And look what that did for me.
No, he actually, so when we first started training together, I'm all outside, he's all inside. Well, when he stopped being able to stop the match inside because my outside or my side, whatever was so good, he's like, I'm not going toward him anymore. I'm coming out. Right. Well, then he would start stopping my move, my offensive attack, boom,
Right.
like that. I'm like, oh.
I used to be able to peel his hand, but he since figured out how to counter it better. But yeah, used to he would be straight offensive, and he would be so much side that I'd get him like right there, and then I'd try to drive it back into a hook. But since, like I said, he's kind of figured it out. So.
He's got to figure it out.
You're got to get a lot stronger.
Your wrist looks really good in your matches. Like as far as gaining supination and cup. That's kind of what I noticed even watching you side table pull with Chance. Even with Chance dumping his wrist and doing a low hand, your center table control and be able to gain flexion. I mean, the reality of it is you can say what you want about training partners and everything, but depending on styles, you are going to gain certain things. Your wrist clearly is really strong.
This is what I try to tell people.
Because of the pronation.
I'm like, listen,
Trying to
guys,
hang
unless
on to
you
him all the
have
time.
world-class pronation,
Right.
do not try to top roll him.
Right.
it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, I think Wayne Withers is gonna win, and I'm like, I don't. I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
I don't see a path because unless you have the arm to back up the hand, if you're trying just to go outside on that dude, it's really hard.
Right. That's
But-
what I mean.
yeah.
And he's trying to constantly hook you.
Yeah.
And you're just boom, boom, boom. And that's what you're getting all day, every day. How do you not get stronger?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go, guys. You heard it here from LeRoy, the Machine Walker. Kingsmove is obviously cheating. So I'm the best cheater in the game, apparently. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was not a topic that I thought we were going to discuss while we were here. I thought I was going to sign an autograph or something. I don't know. But that's not how I thought this was going to go. But good times. We're about to get some practice going. Got a good crew here. I appreciate everybody coming out, helping me get ready for the match. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications.